Hey, welcome back to Matt's Workbench, and today we're going to be working on something a little smaller than usual. A little solar-powered calculator here from Sharp. So this guy has had many years of faithful service, and it's got a problem with some keys that are unresponsive, and we're going to see if we can get it cleaned up and working once again. So before we dive into this, figure we'd just kind of take a quick look at this. Actually got this from a friend who got it from a coworker, and they have had it for a long time, and maybe a little sentimental bond. I mean, this thing has added up a lot of numbers over the years. You can see the wear marks on the keys. But you know, this is the thing. First things first, okay? For as many miles as this calculator's gone on it, I mean, look at this on clear button. It is super shiny, but those letters are nowhere near wearing off. They just made stuff good. As far as when this was made, man, I looked up on Calc Museum, and I could not find a date of manufacture even remotely close. I looked up the calculator that replaced this, the 2130, which had a little more efficient solar cell and a bigger display, and it, as best as I could tell, I found the manual for that, and it looked like maybe it's from the 90s. I don't know. I mean, I'd bet this is probably from the 80s, but it's a really full-featured calculator. You got lots of different functions here, ways to use it. I'm not sure what all this stuff does, but yeah, we're just going to try to clean it up, because as you can see here, we've just got, you know, the 5 key doesn't work, 6, 9, 8 key doesn't work, 7 key, sometimes it works, nope. And then we're going to add 3, nope, the plus key's not working. So we're going to try to see if we can get this apart and get it sorted out. The only obvious places are 2 screws in here, and it does look like somebody has tried to take this apart in the past. You can see kind of some screwdriver pries, so I'm sure that we're going to have to do a little work to pop this thing apart. No screws up under here, so let's just get to taking her apart and see how far we get until we hit a roadblock, and then we'll try something else. It's interesting to me to see a lot of people collecting these calculators and things like that. According to Calc Museum, this calculator was labeled a 6.5 out of 10 as far as collectability. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. We got some rattlage. Can you hear that? There's something in there. Alright, we have made some headway here. So there is plastic tabs all the way around the outside, and I ended up using these plastic razor blades that work pretty good. A couple of those, and just kind of prying and popping. I know that we broke at least one of the tabs because I heard it. And these ones along the top were hanging on really strong. So hopefully we can just kind of pivot this up now, and those will come loose. I'm always amazed by the engineering that goes into, see, just right there. That's one of the tabs. Why can't we just slide this off that way? Oh man, this plastic up here is so thin, I don't want to break it. Oh, can you just, nope. Maybe we can just leave it together like this and pull the guts out from inside. No. My neighbor's dog wants in. Okay, let's see. Can we? Hey, there we go. Of course I didn't get it on camera. Just working it in there. Hey, we did it! See what tabs are left intact on the bottom. looks pretty good. Yeah, all the way around. So that looks okay. We got some crusties down there from 30, 40 years of calculating. And then let's check along the top here. Let's see, I think... Okay, so yeah, there's just these little notches that my camera won't focus on that pop in there. So I think this should pop back together. Okay, so we've got our little... Man, look at that, they were proud of that little chip. An SC7753. So we got a little capacitor here. I wonder if that bad boy is used up or not. But yeah, let's take this apart. Looks like we've got a back plate here for some rigidity. And yeah, then we'll get into the guts. I'm thinking that just the membrane needs cleaned, but then again on that Apple keyboard, that's what I thought we were going to do there too. And no, couldn't be that easy. Yeah, I'm glad people keep these around. You know, everybody talks about your teachers telling you, you're not going to have a calculator with you when you grow up, which, you know, is laughable today. Yeah, but even then I thought, like, why wouldn't we have a calculator? You've literally brought them into the classroom in a tray, you know. There's obviously not a calculator shortage going on. And with calculators like this, you know, that were readily available, albeit not super cheap. I mean, this wouldn't have been a cheap calculator, but I think people knew how much people don't like doing math. And we humans are willing to pay for that. So yeah, we'll get this back plate off here. And then I'm guessing we have a whole printed board here that will somehow interface with a ribbon to the display. And we'll try not to spill all the buttons too. How about that? How about that? Alright, what is under here? Hey. Okay, so this is actually a little bit more like the Apple keyboard. So what we have here is actually there's two different layers here. There's a bottom layer and a top layer. And when you push a key, all it's doing is pushing the two layers together so that they make contact. I don't want to get any chemicals on here because I'm not quite sure. I don't want to wash away whatever conductive materials going on there. So I'm just going to try to clean it, do a dry clean on it. Yeah, so here's our display. Oh, look at that. Nice and bright. That plastic, it looked like the display was dim on the calculator, but I think this plastic is just so worn that, yeah, this will clean up real nice. So this is how it interfaces down here, just via contact with these strips here. So we'll see if we can get those cleaned up a little bit. It is possible. So it looks like there's some little foam pieces. We got to be careful now because we got loose and wild keys. But yeah, there's some little foam pieces underneath here that help push up on these. Let's see if we can take this off now. And this is where it makes contact. Doesn't look too corroded. I think this has got a chance. I think it's just this gunk and stuff here. You know, if somebody would have spilled a coffee on this at some point in time, and then any of that worked in between these two layers, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, look at this. Definitely some issues going on there. So, yeah, let's see what we can do without completely destroying this. This is going to be the most delicate part. Let's check the membrane, the rubber domes here. I mean, those still seem soft and in good shape, so we can just wash that. And all these keys, we need to make sure we don't get these out of order. Holy cow. Fantastic. Holy cow, that's... Okay, I thought that was glass for a second. But that's got some weight to it. Heck yeah, it does. Some of this stuff is underneath, though. Like right in here. I don't know if you can separate this foil from the plastic without total destruction. Let's see here. You can. Look at that. That's going to give us the opportunity to clean this inside and out. And that looks really good, doesn't it? Let's see if we can bring this baby back to life. Cool. Okay. Let's get these guys soaking. Okay, and this is nothing fancy. It's just dish soap and some warm water, and we'll just let those little guys kind of soak in there while we work on the rest of the calculator. Okie dokie, so I did a little bit of research to try to see what the best method of cleaning this guy was, and I couldn't find anything conclusive or that a lot of people agreed on, so I'm going to try up here where there's really no contact on this strip with some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just going to make sure that, you know, it doesn't wipe off the conductive conductive stuff, and see how that works. And then so this stuff is kind of weird because you can't just, it's not like checking regular continuity. For instance, like, you know, that's a dead short, that's going to show your continuity, but this, you really got to like put pressure on it before it starts to register. And I don't want to put too much pressure on this because then I will kind of short this thing out. So yeah, I can see it started to scrape a little bit off there. So I mean, I'm going to take my chances. This doesn't work anyway, and it's not my fault. I didn't spill coffee on this thing. I mean, you can see that there's just all sorts of gunk. So I think I'm just going to get me a microfiber cloth, get it very lightly damp with some isopropyl, and I'm just going to clean these. There's 3 layers, 2 conductive layers. Somebody's riding a dirt bike. Do a wheelie! There's 1 thick layer in the middle. Oh boy, that's beautiful, isn't it? And that's just to hold these 2 apart. So let's get some... let's just go for broke. It's going to work great. So first thing that I noticed while I'm cleaning this here is we do have a little damage. As you can see, there's a few traces, you know, right there below the 2, and then just to the right of this hole here where our little traces are gone. Now we might be okay because that looks like it's probably a common ground for this. You're going to have a lot more trouble if any of these traces up here are broken, and whether they're broken on this side or the other side, it doesn't matter. But there's multiple paths to get down to these grounds here, so hopefully we'll be okay as long as those breaks are just around the outside. We're gonna have to be pretty careful while we clean this up and just try to take it easy so we don't make it worse than it already is. So hopefully we can get this apart without peeling any traces off. Oh, it's kind of scary. Yeah, see, it's taking a little trace off down there. We do not want that to happen in there. Man. Yeah, this crusty stuff has just got in here. You know, if this was coffee with, you know, a little bit of milk and some sugar, oh yeah, make sure we got sugar in there, then that could be some problems. I'm debating go ahead and actually submerging this. Man, I don't know. Just very lightly. Otherwise, I'm afraid. Because see right here? See right there where that trace is sticking to this separator paper? You do not want that. And if it, like I said, I think these around the outside are kind of okay. Because they're ground. And there's lots of ways to get there. Maybe. Possibly. Probably not. But if it, man, yeah, I think I'm going to get this just a little moist. That's what we're going to try. I mean, this may be the end, but honestly, if this isn't working, it may be the end anyway. Make sure this is good and dry. Now we gotta clean those keys, don't we? We've got this plastic here that is just scratched up from lots of years of use, and as you can see, it's not awful. I love that I've found my kids' math flashcards to demonstrate the calculator restoration here, but I think we can do better than this. So what I love to use on, you guessed it, plastic, is plastics. This stuff is good stuff, and again, you don't want to go crazy with it, but just kind of drizzle her on there. Get you a clean microfiber, and then just kind of mix it all in. Still got these scratches up here. Yeah, just not quite there yet. Alright, I mean, this is better than it was for sure. And I mean, there's still these scratches right in here. They're just too darn deep to get out properly. Some of this. Yeah. Bummer. I mean, you could keep going, and if you're a braver soul than I, you could even, you know, take some power to that and really buff that baby out. But you go for it. I'll watch your video. This guy we're just gonna hit with our alcohol. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Drop that in. Drop that in. Ah, yes. Beautiful. So this is going to go like that. Lovely. Ah! Right there. Yeah, there we go. Alright, moment of truth. Okay. Uh-oh. That doesn't look right at all, does it? 3. Uh-oh. Our clear button's not working. +6. Nope, plus still isn't working. 3, 4, 5. Nope, our 5 still doesn't work. 6, 7 still doesn't work. 8 doesn't work. 9 doesn't work. And now clear doesn't work. One. Hey, 1. If you like flex it, it works. +1. Nope. Man, I tell you what, without getting a new membrane or a spare parts calculator, I think that this thing's kind of done for. I just think that coffee or whatever it was got in there and ate away at those traces. I mean, let's try some of these switches here. I really wanted this thing to come together. So it is many days later, and unfortunately no new ideas for getting this up and running. But I think I talked to the person who this is their calculator, or at least it's their friend's calculator. It's not mine. It's more theirs than it is mine. And I said, well, I don't think we can fix it without another calculator. And so they said, well, how about this? Now, this is not exactly the same, and I've done a little bit of research and I cannot figure out what the difference is. But what we started with was a QS 2125, and this is a CS 2125. But I cannot find a single difference other than the CS and the QS onto what these calculators are. This has a little, this must have been an inventory number from a business, I'm guessing. This is the CS 2125. It's got that on the shell in the back. And this has got the QS 2125. Yeah, I mean, made in Japan. I mean, the patents are the same. I don't know what the difference is between these two calculators. Hopefully, the differences are slight enough that we can take some guts out of here, move them over here. I want to keep all the buttons and the plastic and everything the same, because this was this person's calculator that they've used, obviously, a lot. So if we can refresh this and keep all the buttons and tactile functions the same, so that this person can basically have the same calculator that they always have had, now it works again. That's what I want to do. I want to keep everything that you would touch and see exactly the same as it used to be. So before we rip into the new calculator, I decided to spend $11 and I bought Walmart's finest kit here for working on electronics. So it's got a lot of different bits. It's also got some of these spudgers here and like this little guy. So I don't know. I mean, does this have different? Yeah, it's got little different thicknesses for prying things off. We'll see if that's helpful. Let's go ahead and get these guys out. I feel like they might be helpful. Let's just really make a mess. But it should be better than those razor blades that I was using on the other one. See, the larger number is the same, the bottom is different, and I'm guessing, is that a date code? 8606 and 8619? I mean, if that's true, then these calculators were both made, I mean, within a few weeks of each other. What is the difference between the QS 2125 and the CS 2125? If somebody knows, please relay it to me because I don't get it. So what we're going to do now, let's take the old guts out of the non-working calculator. Okay, and there's the crusty old one. Okay, so this is the calculator we want to keep. So let's take this apart and hopefully not destroy it. We're going to set that off to the side. Oh, look at that. That looks so much better. You can already tell. So we're going to try not to take this apart. We're going to treat it very delicately. Here, we'll just keep it all. Oh, we got to take this off first. That's right. This first. So there's that. Now we can take this off. This is the CS and this is the QS. This is the one that we want to restore. And we're going to take this little button. And we're going to slide that in here. I don't think we need anything else. I mean, we've got all our rods here. So let's set this aside. So we have the original case, the original glass, which is not settling all the way in. Why? Why? There we go. Okay. So that's flat. This is the CS display, and this is the QS display. These both look, to me, pretty much the same. I'm going to go ahead and use the CS display just because, like, I really want this to work. And I mean, this is in pretty great shape. Let me clean this up just a little bit, get some glass cleaner, get some of those smears off there. And we're going to drop this in. No, we got to drop the membrane in first. And again, this is in so much better shape than what was in there before. So let's drop this in. And I did not take this apart. Again, I want to mess with it as little as possible. So that appears to be sitting in nice and flush. Let's clean this up and get it ready to go. So this is gonna pop down right in like so. There. Here, let's start with the middle and work our way out. Man, if this works, I'm gonna be so happy for this person. I definitely will. It's always cool to get a, you know, something from your past, something that you used to interact with that you kind of have to say goodbye to, right? Like your first car, right? Can you imagine? You wouldn't necessarily want to drive your first car every day, but man, if you had the opportunity to drive it one more time, wouldn't that be sweet? And hopefully that's what this person gets to do with this calculator. Okay, so if we did all this right, this should be functional. Clear. So 2 plus 4. Aha! Clear works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. And we got the QS2125 display. Now again, the metal backing had a little corrosion on it and some scratches. And we're going to leave those there because we cleaned up this plastic here to where it looks pretty good. But, you know, I don't want to, they had a QS2125 and I want it to be what they remember using. Alright, let's check all the keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. Plus 100. And it's set up in accounting mode. Alright, well let's get the QS2125 back plate. and get that put on, get the screws put in, and this will be done. I'm very happy. Alright, here we are, QS 2125, and this should just basically snap in. There we go. Boy, they go on a lot easier than they come off, huh? It's back together, and it works. Let's put those last 2 screws in. Give her a little wipe down. Would you look at that? She's ready to go. Well, we got it fixed. That's awesome, man. I love this. You know, I'm not a huge calculator guy, but I just love seeing that somebody's going to get to use this again. Somebody's going to get to enjoy this again. And really, these calculators are super reliable. There should be no reason that this thing won't last forever, as long as, you know, you can keep the liquid away from it and stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching. Yeah, we do all sorts of repair stuff on this channel, fixing things up. We've got more coming up on the van, which has actually been running great here recently. And then we have a few projects electronic wise that I want to work on as well, including a Macintosh, another Macintosh coming up. So and it's one of my favorite Macs of all time. So appreciate it if you like the video, and subscribe if you like. There's more of this to come. Thanks for watching.